Good evening YouTube. I hope everyone's well. Good evening Krish. Luke, it's too hot. Go and jump in the swimming pool, man. Get yourself down the local swimming pool, you'll be fine, bruv. It does say waiting for Lee Gunner. That's because I was doing something, i.e. sorting my air conditioning unit out so it weren't too loud. So when I press live, that's when you get it, and I'm now live. So yes, good evening to everybody. Thank you to everyone in the chat room already as well. But before I get into talking about Kieran Tierney, Ceballos and Saliba are apparently having their medicals today, which is good news, I suppose. Although Saliba's going to go back to St Etienne for the season, Ceballos is apparently only a loan move, no option to buy. But let's move on to the Kieran Tierney story. And Neil Lennon's actually come out and spoken, direct quotes from him, saying that basically we came in with a bid where we valued the player. They didn't value him at that much. They valued him more than that. Sorry. And then we came back in with a second bid, and they've had no further contact as soon as they swiftly rejected that one. Now, this makes me wonder. There's two ways I'm looking at this, right? Is it a case of we've now unsettled Kieran Tierney to the point where he's now going to make it hard for them to keep him? He doesn't look that type of lad. He doesn't come across as that type of lad. He's a Celtic boy, born and bred. All the reports you read about Kieran Tierney are the fact that he's a Celtic fan. He loves the club. He's got a great rapport with all the fans up there. But the fact that we've gone in with two bids and they've rejected two bids and we haven't gone back in yet, does that then make you think, okay, well, we've gone in with we've rustled the feathers and now he's going to say, well, I want to go? Or does it mean that we're basically not valuing him at 25 million quid and we think that there's better options out there? I'm not so sure, but one thing I do know is there's 16 days of this transfer window left, and if we want him, we better hurry up and go and get him, because although he's only up in Scotland, which isn't a million miles away from us, it's a short plane journey. He's obviously injured at the moment, as we know. He's not going to start the beginning of the season, even if he starts and signs for us. He's not going to start games at the beginning of the season. But then where does that leave Nacho Monreal? Where does that leave, say, Kolasinac? Where are we going to go with these two players? Does the deal for him depend on getting rid of one of them two? Does the deal for them rely on getting rid of Koscielny and then moving Monreal to centre-back? I don't know, but there's so many avenues with this Kieran Tierney deal that obviously we want him, otherwise we wouldn't have gone in and put two bids in for him. That's pretty much a given. You know, you're not going to go in and bid twice for a player if you don't want him. That'd just be ridiculous. But have we done it to go in and say, well, cool, okay, we're not coming back with a third bid, and then make Celtic go, oh, well, actually, you can have him for X amount? Because obviously the deadline day is getting closer and closer. It'll be a record Scottish transfer out of Scotland and into Scotland, I think. I don't think there's ever been a player over £20 million in or out. I think that was Dembele, who went to Lyon from Celtic. So it's a massive amount of money for Celtic. If you look at their income last season in terms of revenue, that equates to 1/4 of their revenue. And if they want £25 million up front, then that is literally, they have got 25% of their revenue for the season up front in one hit without their revenue. So I don't know whether this is a clever game by Arsenal to say, well, look, we valued him at 20 million or 18 million plus add-ons, and the closer it gets to deadline day, Celtic go, oh, well, actually, I'll tell you what, you can have him for 21 or 22. I don't know, but one thing I do know is we've bid twice for him, so we obviously want the player. I think he'd be fantastic. I've said that many, many times on here. I think he'd be a great addition to the squad. I think he's better than Kolasinac. I think he's better than Monreal. He scores goals. He bombs forward. He can defend. He's defensively very, very good, albeit in a poor league. Okay, so let's not get carried away. He is doing it in a very poor league, and they are the best team in that league. So obviously they're going to dominate most games. But if you look at his goals return and his assists return from a left back position, it is unbelievable. So I don't know. I'm not too sure whether we're going to go back in with a third bid or not. But we shall see. Obviously, 16 days of the transfer window left. I don't know. But one thing I do want, and one thing I will say is that I'd take him at Arsenal in a heartbeat. I've said that so many times on here that I would love him at Arsenal. I think he'd be a great player for us. it'd make the defensive unit so much better, because Kolasinac can't defend, and Monreal, as far as I'm concerned, he's done. He's finished. He's gone. His legs have gone. We see that last season. There were so many times, especially against Rennes. The game that sticks in my head for Monreal, where I thought, you know what, you're done, was when we played Rennes away, and he had a little tantrum up in their half. They broke away and scored the third goal. And I thought, you know what, you're done, mate. And I think, listen, I don't want to mug him off too much, because I think he's been fantastic for us. He's been one of our better players since he signed for us. But I think he's finished. And it showed a lot last season that every team we played against targeted Nacho Monreal, whether he be at centre-back on the left side of a 3, or whether he played at left-back in a 4. You know, everyone targeted that side. So I think we should go and buy Tierney. There's reports today suggesting that we're going to go and look for Ryan Sessegnon as an alternative. Listen, Ryan Sessegnon's probably going to cost about the same, if not more, than Kieran Tierney. A year ago, he probably would have cost double what Kieran Tierney was. There was reports last year going around 45-50 million pounds, but Fulham obviously kept hold of him, and he didn't really do it, if we're being honest. He did absolutely nothing in the Premier League. So yeah, we shall see. 16 days to go. Is Kieran Tierney going to be an Arsenal player? That is the question. Anyway, thank you to over 400 of you already watching live. Stick a like on the video, bang that thumb up. If you're new, subscribe as well. It's free. We haven't signed any centre-backs, says Ashwin Watkins. Mate, we need 2 centre-backs. Everyone's telling me about Boris Johnson as well. Jesus Christ, mate. I just see a clip of him on Sky News, man, tripping over a 7-year-old. Seriously, no comment. I don't talk about politics because, listen, I'm football. I ain't talking about politics. But yeah, 16 days of the transfer window left. Kieran Tierney, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? It's in the balance. But like I said, 2 bids already have been lodged. We've had both of them knocked back. That's come out of the horse's mouth. The Celtic manager Neil Lennon has confirmed that. He didn't confirm how much the bids were, but he said that obviously he's a fantastic player. He wants to keep him, the usual jargon, and that we have, and he did confirm it. We have bid twice for him. He didn't say when them bids were or how much they were, but that makes me think we want him. And you know, you're not going to go and bid for a player unless if you don't want him. Do you know what I mean? So I think we'll go back in with a third bid a little bit later, maybe next week, perhaps test them out on the last week of the deadline of the transfer window, the deadline week, and we shall go from there and see what their resolve is. But like I said, it'll be a record transfer fee for Scottish football, and that is hard to turn down. So we shall see. Anyway, let's go back through some of these comments. Rushil says, does Ceballos only coming on loan bother you, bro? If he tears it up in the Premier League, we won't be able to afford him anyway. Well, listen, it does bother me because it's only helping Real Madrid. If he has a wicked season, you know, it's only helping Real Madrid out, isn't it? Let's be real. So there was reports that there was going to be a £45 million purchase in there at the end of the loan, but I don't know. There's other reports today saying that the Real Madrid president has said that he'll speak to Raul and Haley in the summer next season, and we'll talk about it. For me, I don't know. If he comes in and smashes it, you'd think that he'd like to go, well, actually, I want to stay, and then make force Real Madrid's hand. But who knows? You never know how these players are going to do, mate. You know, he could come into the Premier League and absolutely flop, a little bit like Denis Suarez did when he came in. So, you know, he didn't really get a chance, but he was injured, and then he came in, got 20 minutes, didn't really do anything. So it could be another situation like that. I don't think it will be, because I think he's better than Suarez, but he's more of a number 8 and a number 10 according to Unai Emery. So he can play in both of them positions rather than wing where Suarez was playing. I don't know. We shall see. Nuno, good evening to you, mate. If we get Tierney, can't get Tierney, who would you prefer? Good question, mate. Thanks for that as well, buddy. If we can't get Tierney, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, mate. There's so many left backs out there, but how many of them would improve us? That's the problem. And how many of them would cost around the same sort of money? Because let's be honest, we ain't going to go and spend 40, 50, 60 million. Go for Tellez. That's a good option. Is he going to cost that sort of money though? Probably more. We've got 6 centre backs, including Koscielny. That's why we're not signing a centre back. We should have sold Chambers. Do you know what? I agree we should have sold Chambers, but again, he's a utility player. He can play in 3 different positions. So I'm not so sure we are going to sell him. but he is one player that we can get some money for, so maybe we should look to sell him. But you're right about the centre-back situation. We have actually got 6 if you include Mavropanos in that as well. Rob Holding, Socrates, Mustafi, play Monreal there. It's, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, we needed centre-backs, and if we're going into the season with the centre-backs we've got, then we're in trouble. Are you panicking, says Leonard. I'm not panicking, mate, to be honest with you. I think we know that Ceballos and Saliba are going to get done. Obviously, one of them's not going to be for now, and the other one's only on loan. Tagliafico, that's a good shout, Cyril. That is a good shout. He's a good left-back. But yeah, I'm not really panicking. I'll be honest with you, right? If we close this transfer window in 16 days and we've still got some of that dead wood still at this club, then yeah, I won't be 100% happy, because some of them players have got to go. Some of them have got to go. I've said it so many times on here, the names of the players that have got to go. Listen, we ain't going to get rid of all of them. I'd get rid of loads, mate. Yeah, I've said it before, but there's no point waffling on about that at the moment. Let's see where we're at in 2 weeks when the window's shut. Good evening to Sergio. Hope your boss don't catch you, bruv, while you're at work. Kyle, is it your birthday today, bruv? If it is, happy birthday. Hope you had a good day, mate. I think we will finish 9th next season. Why does it take ages for us to sign players, says Godzino. Wow, man. I'm not that down in the dumps. Do you know what? Listen, it takes every team long to sign players, man. You know, these players are players we've been working on for a long, long time, right? And, you know, Real Madrid are not easy to deal with. We all know that, man. They're not an easy club to deal with. St. Etienne have obviously wanted to keep the player. I don't know. Listen, Man United have been in for Bruno Fernandes for longer than we've been in for any player, mate. And they still ain't signed him, and they're one of the biggest clubs in world football. So, you know, it's... I don't know. It's just one of them things, isn't it? Sometimes negotiations, it depends who the agent is. It depends who the club you're dealing with is. Depends what the... you know, the club that wants to buy him want. You know, all 3 of you have got to come to a happy medium, and sometimes that takes a hell of a long time. You know, so, and let's be real here as well. We're not talking about 50 quid or 100 quid. We're talking about millions of pounds here, plus wages, plus bonuses and stuff like that. You know, every single person in that negotiation process has to feel comfortable with it. And sometimes one tiny little thing can stop that, especially when you're talking about millions of pounds. It will take long if you start at a low offer. Well, it will, but listen, Paul, all right, when I bought my house, yeah, my house was up for 225 grand. Yeah, I went and had a look at it with the missus. We had a little look round. We said, yeah, we like this. We'll give you 180. Yeah, they went, you're taking the piss. We went, cool, no worries. Left it for a week. Said, let's go and have a second look at it. Went back in with 195 and they accepted it. So, do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to start low. You're not going to go and buy a house at full asking price. So why would you buy a footballer at full asking price? Regardless of how much you need that footballer. If the price is over what you think they're worth, you don't pay it. If you go and buy a car, you walk into the showroom and the car is a BMW M Sport 3 Series compact, whatever it may be. You go in there, it's up for 30 grand. You go, yeah, cool, I love it for 30 grand, but I want alloys on it. I want Harman Kardon stereo. I want Bluetooth. I want this. I want that. I want a sports package extra. I want this. You want that. Or you say, nah, I ain't paying 30 grand. I love it as it is, but I'll pay 26. And eventually you negotiate and you get to a happy medium. It's the same with football, man. Negotiations are exactly the same, no matter what walk of life it's in, mate. Yeah, for somebody that's sold double glazing for 20 years, mate, like, I go in and say, look, it's 12 grand, they want it at 4. Eventually, you sell it at 8. Do you know what I'm saying? So, that's how it works, unfortunately, mate. It's frustrating as hell for us, because obviously, only seeing Martinelli come in, it's been a bit of a disappointment so far. But listen, how many other teams in that league have actually gone out and spent proper hardcore money this summer so far? So we all know everything's going to happen in the last 2 weeks. It's the way every single transfer window works. Last year we got it done early, but Unai Emery probably didn't have a big say in any of them players last summer. He might have had a say in the latter ones, the last 2, but definitely not the first 3. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't know, but it always goes down to the last couple of weeks of the transfer window, and that's when things start moving. Eric Welsh says American Gunners. Yeah, big up every American Gunner as well. Who's actually got to see their team play live as well. You know, it's not easy for the American Gooners to get out to England. It's expensive to come here to watch Arsenal. So, albeit it's been bloody expensive to go and watch them in America because it's like $200 a ticket to go and watch them. But yeah, big up everyone who has gone and watched them and seen them for the first time or even the second or third time. So yeah, good luck to all of you. And we're playing Real Madrid at 1 AM, I think. Sergio, if we get Everton, I will tattoo his face on my arse. I'm going to hold you to that. Everyone screenshot that. Go back to Sergio Hernandez. He's going to screenshot Everton's face on his backside. Oh, mate, that's jokes. Who do you think we'll end up signing? Says Tom. Do you know what? I think we will still get Tierney. I still think we'll get him. Ceballos will get. Saliba will get. And I still think we'll get Zaha. I don't know how we're going to get him, but I do think we'll get him. I think that'll be the 4 we get. The fact that Unai hasn't brought in a centre-back is now making me feel he's not the right man to lead us, says Jose Jimenez. I don't know, mate. Maybe he's thinking, let's go and outscore everyone. You know, maybe Tierney is going to join. I don't know, mate. Listen, the priority should have been centre-back. That's what I said all summer. I said it from the back end of last season. I've said it all the way through the summer. For me, a top-draw centre-back should have been top of the pecking order. But it's not. And I'm not the manager, so, you know, it's up to him if he thinks that's the best way. Listen, at the end of the day, his job's on the line if it don't work out, innit? So, good evening, Chig. Good evening. Yeah, but they aren't budging. They've said 25 mil the whole time, and they've made it clear they aren't negotiating. Well, that's true, Chig, they are, but £25 million is a lot of money for Celtic. So I don't know. Maybe we will go in with 25. Maybe we're testing their resolve to see if they come back to us and say you can have them for 23 or 22 or 21. Because let's be real, if you save that £3 million, let's say you save £5 million on 4 players, that buys you a 5th player. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to say go and spend the money, go and do it all in one hit. But if you wanted 4 £25 million players and you got them all for £20 million, you could go and get a 5th player for 20 million. So I get it, I do get it, but for us fans, it's frustrating, mate. It's proper frustrating. Anyone who's not subscribed to Gooner Eagle Eye, go and show him some love. He's over 5k now, so let's try and get him up to 10k. Finally saw the squad live. Nice one, man. Happy days to anywhere. Screenshot done. Sergio's in trouble if we sign him. It's too late to back out now, brother. Tierney deal is off. Well, it might be. It looks off at the minute, doesn't it? I've got a feeling we're going to do good next season. I hope so, mate. I hope so. Arsenal has no money. William, Arsenal have got millions, bruv. They've got about 270 million sat in a bank account. How long do you think Emery will be here? And who do you think will replace him? Good question, Coxie. I hope you're well, mate. Well, I think he'll be here for another season at least, because obviously he's under contract, unless it goes completely wonky and then he's gone, isn't he? Do you know what I'm saying? And he'll be sacked by Christmas. But I can't see it. I think we've got too many good players, especially attacking wise, for it to get to that position, you know. But in terms of next season, like the one after the one about to start, I think he'll be here for that as well. And then it's a case of who's available, like what manager's available after that. But I don't know. I don't know, mate. You never know. Eddie Howe could be available. Pulis might come back and do some work. Who knows? Even Arsene Wenger might come out of retirement in a couple of years. Who knows? Dybala is somehow valued at 70 to 90 million. Aubameyang is worth 79 to 90 million. I'm having thoughts, says Syed. Do you know what? Dybala's a very good player. He'd get absolutely poleaxed in this league, in my opinion, mate. I think we need to use some youngsters this season, says Shane. I agree, Shane. Listen, the youngsters have been fantastic so far in pre-season, so big up to all of them. I think they've done absolutely great. Nketiah especially, and John Jules, I think they've been the two standouts. So yeah, I think that could be an option. Maybe Unai Emery's looking at it and saying, look, we've got enough attacking players there that we could go and outscore the opponents. But for me, it's all about building from the back, mate. Arsenio Wonga, I have just read out your comments, so there you go. Happy days to you. Good evening, Sam. I hope you're well, mate. When am I back? Bored without your videos? Well, I've been doing my my morning video, although it's been more of an afternoon video over here. And obviously I'm doing the 5 o'clocks, but the 9 o'clock streams will return when I'm back. I'm back on Saturday afternoon, unfortunately. Left to me, I'd stay here, but the missus ain't having none of it. She wants to go back. So yeah, but I have had an invitation to go to Albania, actually. One of my friends is Albanian. I've known him maybe 15, 16 years. Very good friend of mine. He's gone back to Albania until September. I was talking to him yesterday. He said, yeah, just get on a flight, come straight over to Albania. So yeah, I'm tempted, man. I'm tempted. I've never been. All the time I've known him, every summer he invites me over. Never been. So yeah, I might do that. You won't come back. Don't worry, man. I'm with the locals. I'll be fine. How hot is it in Spain, says Onionhead. Currently right now at 6:30 at night, it's 33.5 degrees, mate, which is why my air conditioning unit's on quite high. So yeah, hence why my tan's looking pretty peng right now. What is happening to the 270 million that sat in the bank, says Simon. Great question, my friend, great question. Well, because the Emirates Stadium is not paid off until 2031, the deal with the bank is that we have to have a set amount of money stashed in the bank account for whatever reason. Say Arsenal went pop overnight and we couldn't afford the payments. That money in the bank then covers the payments, and that was part of the plan with I think it was Barclays, wherever it was, that gave us the bank loan all the way back in 2002 when we secured the finance for the stadium. They said that we had to have a set amount of money in the bank account. So that money is currently sat in the bank. I'm not sure whether it is 270. Last time I looked, it was around that sort of figure. It might be a little bit less. But you know, a lot of people say, well, why don't we use that 270 million to pay off the remainder of the stadium? It's easier said than done, because the penalty charges for doing so would mean it'd be more than 270 million pound. There's massive penalties for paying it off early. So that's why it's about 20 million a season for 25 years. It was on a mortgage for 25 years, very similar to how you have a mortgage for your house. So yeah. So yeah, there we go. What happened to the doctors that have been sent to have a medical with Everton? That's a very good question as well. We've not heard anything since, have we? So probably BS, my friend. I thought the Emirates Stadium was paid off, says Douglas. Nah, bruv. Basically, it was roughly about 50 million quid or 40 million quid for the first few years. Obviously, the revenue started going up. Basically, the way it works, right, is when you buy a property, say my house, for example, the first few years of that, you are solely paying off the interest on it, and you're paying a tiny little amount off the debt. Over the years, you're paying off less interest and more off the debt. That is exactly how it's working with the Emirates Stadium. So it works out about 20 million every year, and out of that 20 million, about 9 million pound of it is interest, and then the 12 or 8 million or whatever it may be, 11 million is going to go towards the debt. Then the following year it'd drop, and it'd be maybe 19 million and I don't know, say 8 million pounds. So it'd drop to, I don't know, 12 million and 8 million. Then the following year it'd drop to 11 million and 7 million, for example. It might knock 2 million off the following year. But because it's such a big debt, it's going to work out, by the time we've paid it from start to finish, nearly £500 million, whereas the original loan was about 200 and something. But because of all the interest that occurs over the length of the 25 years, it virtually doubles it. Very similar to how you buy a house, mate. When you look at how much you pay on your mortgage and how much actually goes towards paying the actual debt of the property off, not the interest, it's exactly the same, which is why the Emirates has done over 25-year mortgage, because we didn't have the money. Yes, we probably have got the money, but now if we had that money and we didn't have a stadium, it wouldn't even get us a stadium, because it's going to cost 4 times that now. So we've done it at the right time. I think it was the right time to do it. But the way we've done it is on a 25-year mortgage. Spurs is the same. Spurs have put theirs on a 25-year mortgage. Bayern Munich did it as well. The difference is the fans had something to do with Bayern Munich, so I think the fan groups or something. I'm not 100% clued up on it, but Bayern Munich built their stadium around the same sort of time as us, and it cost roughly the same. But theirs is paid off, and they paid it off 17 years early because their fans had something to do with the payments structure or something, and they just paid it off. I don't know whether the fan groups all chipped in or something like that, I don't know, but theirs was paid off 17 years early. So there we go. Thank you to nearly 700 people watching live. Do stick a like on the video. It helps the video get traction. It helps the channel get traction, and people can then come and subscribe. And also do that if you're unsubscribed to the channel. How much is the petrol there to drive the Datsun? Not that expensive. It's actually cheaper here than it is back home, mate. Right, let's do a couple more minutes worth of questions. Please answer my question. Bruv, you ain't put a question in there. And if you have, it's miles away. I won't be able to scroll back to it. How did Fekir only go for 20 million? I think that's probably because he's got a dodgy knee, mate, if I'm being honest. Go to Albania, you melt. Nice and polite then, bruv. We should sign Ashley Young. No thanks. Yeah, Fekir is basically done. Alderweireld, I think, has probably got a no Arsenal clause in his contract, which is probably why we ain't gone in for him. That's a good question, KS1. What makes a real football fan? Well, that's different opinions, mate. You know, I've got a different opinion to what every 680 of you watching this have probably got. So it's entirely up to the person. Every single person's match day experience is different. So, you know, and that's what it is. It is an experience. It's a match day match day experience. So, you know, you might want to go to the boozer on your match day. You might not. You might want to watch it on TV instead of going to the game. Even if you've got your ticket, you might say, sorry, I don't want to go tonight. Give my ticket to someone. If you can't get to games because of logistics or finance, but you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, well, why are you not a proper fan? Do you know what I'm saying? Of course you are. So, you know, if you're waking up and setting an alarm for 2, 3 in the morning so you can watch Arsenal, then that don't make you any worse or any better than anybody else. But everyone is pretty much equal, aren't they, you know? Just because I go to games don't mean I'm a better fan than anybody else. Just means I'm lucky enough to live in an area where it's 40 minutes down the road rather than living 4,000 miles away and can't come over every week. So yeah, it's a hard question to answer, mate. But every Arsenal fan, as far as I'm concerned, is equal, mate. Whether you live in out of Mongolia or Islington. So yeah, there you go. I asked because someone said you're a fake fan. Mate, you probably weren't even born when I was supporting Arsenal, so there you go. And that's what makes me laugh with this social media, mate. A lot of people love to throw fake fan, fake this, fake that. At the end of the day, how does anyone know what anybody else is? Yeah, people watch my videos, but you know, I've supported this club for over 30 years. Whether I go every week or not is irrelevant. You know, you've only got to go and look at my profile picture on Twitter, mate. 1991 bruised banana shirt. So I've supported this club a hell of a long time, but that don't make me better than anyone who supported it for 2 seasons. You know, at the end of the day, if you started supporting Arsenal 6 months ago, how does that make me better than you? It don't. We're all Arsenal, aren't we? Right, let's do 1 minute 15 seconds of this. Been a fan since watching Charlie George, says Ronald Talbot. Well done, man. Nice one. Do you know what? He divided opinion back in the day a little bit like Mr. Ozil. Half the fan base didn't want him and the other half did. And then George Graham come in and said, get on your bike, son. Eric, thanks for that, mate. Appreciate it, my friend. Sydney Saunders, don't worry about these people, man. They make me chuckle. They're motivation, mate. They're motivation. It's all good. You can't just have all the love in the comment section. You've got to get a bit of hate every now and again as well, mate. I live in Essex. I'm so lucky I can go to games, but some foreign fans are the most loyal fans in the world. That is a fantastic comment, Finley. Do you know what, right? When I met a couple of guys from Australia last season, yeah, right, and they were stood in the North Bank, and they were starting all the chants. So there you go. You know, a lot of people in the North Bank in the section I was in just didn't want to join in. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, does that make them better fans? I don't know, but they're passionate, I'll tell you that. Every single fan from overseas is 100% mad on Arsenal. It's their whole life pretty much. So, you know, fair play to every one of you, man. Oh, sorry, Charlie George. Do you know what? I'm having one of them days today. You said Charlie George, not Charlie Nicholas, didn't you? Somebody's just pointed that out. On that note, I think I'll just wrap this up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Either way, both were good players. Charlie George and Charlie Nicholas. One divided opinion, the other didn't. And I've actually met Charlie George. And Charlie George, mate, my jaw dropped when I see him. So, there you go. Sydney says, I live in East London and can't afford to go. Well, there you go, mate. Listen, some people can go, some people can't go. Some people want to buy the shirt, some people don't want to buy the shirt. Some people want to call people fake, some people don't want to call people fake. Just do what makes you happy, man. Do what makes you happy. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you to nearly 700 of you watching live at one point. Please do stick a like on the video before you all jog yourselves on. And thank you to everyone in the comment section tonight. Appreciate that. I will be back probably around midday tomorrow with the daily transfer update. Fingers crossed we'll actually have a player announced. I've said that every day for about 3 weeks now. But you never know. And don't forget, when I'm back on Saturday, the 9 o'clock streams will start again as well. So, and obviously the podcast as well, because I know a lot of people are waiting for the podcast. As soon as I'm back on Saturday, I'll be making moves to get that sorted ASAP. So yeah, man, keep your eyes peeled for that. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the sun if it's sunny where you are.